case you missed it, yesterday Kenya Power was in the news. Not because of a power blackout or because of interruptions or something like that, but because of two issues: reliability of power and quality of power. Now, before we get to understand or discuss what Kenya Power was talking about, these two issues, let's try and understand what these two issues are. Reliability is an issue of assurance. Basically, you as the user, you like to be assured that if Kenya Power tells you that between 9 a.m., for example, today and 9 a.m. tomorrow, that they're going to give you power, that they will actually give you that power without any unexpected interruption. So if the power is 100% reliable, it means between 9 a.m. today and 9 a.m. tomorrow, you're good. The second issue is quality. Quality is basically the issue of how good is that power, okay? How clean is it? How stable is it? How close to ideal is it? Now, between the two, reliability is the easiest to spot. You are watching TV, you're using your iron box, out of nowhere there's no power. Or if you're not sure, you just open your curtains, look around, you confirm that it's not just you, even your neighbors don't have power. You see, that means reliability is compromised. Quality, some people notice. For example, you may notice that your lights are dimming or they're flickering, or if you're in an industry, you hear that the motor is producing some humming sound, or TV, very simple. Sometimes the screen collapses and resurrects, collapse and resurrects. Those are some of the issues that come about when the quality of power is not as it should be. Now, what was Kenya Power saying about these two things yesterday? They were saying at the center, the main driver that is interfering with reliability, that is interfering with quality, are variable renewable energy sources. These are basically solar and wind without any energy storage. Okay? So, sometimes back, I remember the story of someone who was saying that he can never use an electric motorbike. Alikuwa anasema, imagine you're on a hill and then all of a sudden tokens imeisha. Okay? His issue was reliability. Yesterday, if I can borrow the illustration that was used by Dr. Siroro of Kenya Power, he said that when you're using VREs, it's like someone who's driving a vehicle. And you know very well that this vehicle is going to stall at any point. So you have another vehicle that is following you, so that when your vehicle stalls, then the one that is following you can step in. So basically what they're saying is this: every time we're using solar and wind without energy storage, it basically means that at one point the solar is good. Very good, you have 100 megawatts being generated. The next minute there's a cloud, there's no generation, you have 2 megawatts. That 98 megawatts that you have all of a sudden lost, someone has to be called in to supply it. And that someone is the vehicle that is following your faulty vehicle. So they were saying that Kenya currently, we have breached what is internationally acceptable. For example, you find that in other countries, if you have 1,000 megawatts production, they have limited variable renewable energy sources to no more than 15%. So in the entire 1,000 megawatts, you only commit 15% to it. Kenya, they are currently reporting that we are over 21%. Now, what are the real issues that come with these VREs? At the center is something about system stability. Because at one point the wind is very good, the next minute there's no wind, it is bringing issues of rising and falling in generation. But remember, in our illustration, the good guys at the National Control Center, which is around here, they have to maintain generation and usage. Our usage and generation has to be balanced. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to ensure that the grid is up and running. Now, if we also continue to use the variable renewable energy sources, our cost of power will go up. Because, remember, because these things are not reliable, that time you lose your 40 megawatts or 100 megawatts, another power plant has to be called in. And mostly the power plant that will be called in is a thermal power plant, because we need something that can also wake up very fast and increase production very fast to meet the power production that has just been lost. So they gave an example with our neighbors and even in Africa and globally. Kenya, currently we are over 21%. That is the contribution of VREs in the entire production. Uganda is at 4%. Tanzania, 1.2%. Ethiopia, 5%. And Egypt at about 10%. They are basically saying they do not have appetite for VREs now, and I support it. Now, there's something also they highlighted, that the difference between maximum demand, saa zile tunatumia stima sana, and when the low demand, when the usage is low, is so big. You find at our peak, we are at 2500 megawatt consumption. Then, at the time that it is idle, we are at about 1200 megawatts. So we have about 1300 megawatt that is just dangling there. It basically means some power plants have to be told to shut down or reduce production. This is a place for conversation. How about we ensure that we store this power when no one else needs it? How about we ensure that we revise the tariffs so that we expand the time of use tariff, which currently is being enjoyed by the electric vehicle users. We open it up for everybody and tell Kenyans that, hey, if you use your power between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., instead of paying 25 shillings per unit, you'll pay 15 shillings per unit. That way, we don't have to keep on having those extremes. Too much usage, almost no usage. And then finally, there's this thing Kenya Power has put, and let me read it word for word, that for VREs, the recommendation is to have battery storage systems. Good. However, they would still face a challenge in charging the batteries when the wind and solar dip. The true cost of VREs is its own cost and the additional power that we pay for it to stabilize the grid. That last statement is actually true. I never thought about it until today. That the cost of having a variable renewable energy sources, the one that you do not add a battery to supplement, to ensure that you have a smooth output, to ensure that you don't have those dips and rises, its true cost or its damage or contribution to the economy is the cost of putting it up, but also the cost of having to keep on calling another source of power to bridge those dips and losses. I don't know what you're thinking. Adios. Thank you.